class are going.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kimberlie Wright. Welcome to Word Up. This class is concentrating on spoken word, poetry, and short stories. Once again, spoken word, poetry, and short stories. So if you want to grab a pen and paper, please do so, or you can just listen. It's your choice. I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. All right. So also, when you have revised your poetry or your short stories, you can purchase a journal to write your finished poems in, to keep them as a collection. So these journals are really good to purchase. You can purchase them small or large, it's up to you. Really keeps them neat and keeps them compiled together. All right. Poetry is a type of literature that conveys a thought, describes a scene, or tells a story in a concentrated lyrical arrangement of words. Poems can be structured with rhyming lines and meter, the rhythm and emphasis of a line based on a syllabic beat. Poems can also be free form, which follows no formal structure. So, also it's good to also read poems that are by other authors so that you can get a hang of or gist of the lyrical theme of the poems. Poems are good for developmental learning. Poems are good to develop your skills. Poems help to improve your ideas, and they are therapeutic for you as well. Poems help you to understand the significance of words. Poetry helps you to understand people, and poetry also helps you to understand yourself. You can use poetry to recite to others, such as your friends, family. You can use them in events to recite on stage. You can write poetry. You can begin to become an author and write yourself. And so, some of the types of poems that we will be concentrating on or actually experimenting with is blank verse, rhymed poetry, free verse, epics, narrative poetry, haiku, pastoral poetry, sonnets, elegies, odes, limericks, lyric poetry, ballads, soliloquy, and villanelles. All right, so if you didn't tune in last week, we are going to go back on what we started last week, which was our haiku poem. A haiku has a very simple structure. This will be the first poem that we will be writing. A haiku poem, if you want to write this down, has only 3 lines. You can write 3 lines. It only has 3 lines. The whole complete poem has 17 syllables or sounds. For example, my name is Kimberlie, so my name has 3 syllables, Kimberlie, or 3 sounds with that separates vowels or consonants. The first line of the poem will have 5 syllables. 5 syllables. The second line has 7 syllables. And the last line or third line will contain 5 syllables. 5, 7, and 5 completes your 17 syllables. So, a haiku is a form of Japanese poetry dating back nearly 1,000 years. Focusing on nature, a haiku must be exactly 17 syllables in length and is written in the present tense about the present moment. This poem is meant to give your reader a pure snapshot of the topic or subject. All right, so the haiku poem that we're going to write, I'm going to give you a subject for the first poem. We're going to write about the coronavirus pandemic or COVID-19. The poem must focus on the coronavirus pandemic, so write that down. The poem includes some type of word or phrase, directly or indirectly, dealing with the actual time of the season. Like right now, it started in winter time, the beginning of the year, and we're going into spring. Also, your poem can include some sensory type of image, such as smell, sound, touch, or sight. The poem has 3 lines, and a total syllable count for the 3 lines must be 17 and follow these rules. Okay, so an example of a haiku poem is, this one is titled The Sun. I'm going to read it just relaxed how it should flow, and then we're going to go back and I'm going to count the syllables just to show you how the lines pair. So this is called The Sun, S-U-N, the sun. So large and glowing. Outside, the sun surrounds me, heating my body. Wasn't that beautiful? All right. So let's go back to the first line. So large and glowing. That's 5 syllables. Outside, the sun surrounds me. Outside, the sun surrounds me. That's 7 for the second line. And for the third line, heating my body. That was 5 syllables. All right. So I've already written a poem, and it's untitled, but my poem is concentrated on the corona pandemic. It goes just like this. Corona, now. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna get this in my head. Okay, corona, now. Sorry, I'm gonna come right back to that. Just a little bit off. All right. So I'm gonna come back to that. I lost my train of thought because I memorized my poem. So anyway, I wrote a second haiku poem, but I'm gonna come back to the corona poem. Just give me a second. All right. So my second poem is titled, Do You Know? Did I ever tell you I became an artist at age 3 years old? So the first line, did I ever tell? Second line, I became an artist at age 3 years old. Okay. So next week, we will be able to share some of your poems if you get a chance to finish your haiku poems. And I will ask anyone if they want to share their poem. All you have to do is raise your hand and we can recite them. I would like to say that for the sake and purposes of the fact that we're dealing with live videos and we don't want to offend anyone or be offensive in any way, please refrain from using profanity at all. I know it probably stifles your creativity a little bit, but also it will help you build your creativity in the sense that if you wanted to use profane language, you can creatively find some other way to express yourself than using the profanity. Okay. All right. Be right with you. 1 second. All right. Here's my Corona poem. So sorry about that. Thanks for being so patient. All right. This is it. 2020 now. Coronavirus. Why? How? Punch in the face? How? So that was it. 2020 now. That's my first line. Coronavirus. Why? How? That's 7. Punch in the face. How? That's 5. That's my haiku poem. So be very creative. If you want to write that down just to get a little sense of or some inspiration on how to write your poem, I'll recite it again. The first line was 2020 now. The second line is coronavirus. Why, comma, how. The third line is punch in the face, pow. Okay. So just have fun with the haiku poem. And although we will be sharing our haiku poems, if you would like to write a second poem concentrating on anything, any subject you would like, feel free. Usually the Japanese like to write about nature. So that's a subject that I encourage you to write about is nature. And we will be going right into after next week. Next week, I will explain to you what our second genre of poems will be called free verse. Free verse. Free verse poetry lacks consistent rhyme, scheme, metrical pattern, or musical form. It implies just what it says, free verse, meaning you're free to write how you want and about anything you would like. So that's going to be next week. So I encourage you to write 2 poems, haiku poems, and we're going to share those next week. So another haiku poem called The Ocean. Waves crashing ashore, a blanket over the world. Creatures call it home. So don't forget, your poetry, it can build your vocabulary, your personal character. You can use your poetry to recite in front of large crowds or use it. Also, instead of buying gifts for celebrations like birthdays, you can use your poetry and decorate it really beautiful on nice stationery and give it to loved ones or friends. And also, you can also become an author of your own book of poems or short stories. So just take your time. All you have to do is start out and keep going from there, and everything will build. In your haiku, when you are planning or rough drafting for your haiku, use the 5 senses to help you capture the details of various locations or subjects. Some of the senses you may want to use in your poems is smell, sound, sight, taste, and touch. All right. Don't forget to give your poem a title. Sometimes you may feel like your poem does not necessarily have a title, so you can have the title be an untitled per se. Just have fun. And we are going to share one more poem today. I think I wrote one more. Let's see. Let's share a poem by someone else. This poem is by Susan Polis Schutz, and it is called Enjoy Yourself. If we are ever to enjoy life, now is the time. Today should always be our most wonderful day. Thank you so much. Please get to your writings, have fun, and I will see you next week and give you a chance to share your beautiful writings with the world. Thank you, and word up.